Okay. Is it recording? I think we're good. Okay. I'm Andy.
I'm Alexander.
And I'm Owen, and I read The Stranger.
By Albert Camus.
What drew us into the book? It seemed very entertaining when we read the summary of the book. So yeah, that was the thing. And it was translated from French, which seemed interesting.
So the main character of the book was Salt, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he goes into a lot of detail of what he's thinking about, especially his partner.
Which is Marie. Salt and Marie are not dating, but they do things that people who are dating would.
When the main character was thrown in jail, one of the things that he thought about while he was in jail was Marie. And Marie came to visit him once or twice after he received his sentence and before. And it really didn't change much of the story. The main character saw Marie, and Marie talked with him, and then she went home. It didn't really change much of the story. It was quite disappointing, actually.
Next is Raymond. He's a neighbor of Salt, and he's known for beating his partner.
He beats women.
Yeah, that's what causes the problem later on in the book.
The person that Raymond likes to beat, her fiancé and her fiancé's brother, are both Arabs, and they are a major cause of a conflict later in the book, and it foreshadows it towards the beginning of the book.
When the main character's mom died, he didn't really react, and the court used that as a main point when they were trying him. They said that he acted somewhat inhuman in a reaction to his mother's death.
Okay, Salamana. He's another neighbor of Salt. We know him in the book for beating dogs, and then at one point his dog runs away, and then he's sad about it.
What is the setting? Okay, so one of the settings is Salt's apartment. That's where he has like the deep thoughts and stuff.
Yeah, and then he also goes to the beach, where some important stuff happens later on in the book. In the middle of the book, he reaches the climax at the beach.
For the climax, Salt encounters the Arab, which is
Raymond's mistress's fiance's brother.
Fiance's brother. And so the Arabs keep on like spying on Salt and Raymond. They meet up, but then they go back to the house.
You know, it was really weird.
And so Salt decided to take the gun and go back to the beach where he met the Arab again, and then he shot him 6 times.
Yeah, he shot him once, and then on the ground while he was dead, just...
Good stuff. The next setting would be the prison. Salt is actually arrested, and then he's put into prison for 11 months.
Okay. Courts. During the court case, they bring up a lot of things about his mother and how inhumane he acted at the funeral. They said like, oh, he didn't show much emotion and stuff like that. So they're like, oh, then he must not care if about killing someone. Which is why it was hard for him to, clear his name.
And this was all taken during the mid-1900s.
In France. It's a philosophical fiction.
Philosophical fiction, it goes... Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Philosophical fiction, and it goes through how people react to, like, mindsets of different people. And of course it's not a real story. This guy didn't shoot this guy 5 times and then get tried for it in court. But it goes into how people perceive others' actions, and how one person pretending or not pretending that he doesn't react to a situation like his mother dying can affect everyone else's view of him, whether or not he's even a real person with real emotions or not.
So to put the plot all together, in the first chapter, Salt's mother died, and Salt didn't really act as normal people would. Like, he wasn't really sad.
The next day, he just meets up with Marie, and he goes to see a movie with her and hangs out at the beach with her.
Then he meets Raymond and Salamano. Salamano is the dog beater, and Raymond is the woman beater.
And then Salt and Raymond are go to the beach, and they see the Arab spying on them, so Salt takes Raymond's gun and shoots him dead. And he goes to prison.
And then he goes to prison. While at prison, he gets interrogated about his mother dying and like what he did and why he killed the Arab.
And if he believes in God.
Yes.
We really didn't like the writing style because it was translated from French and had a lot of French names and words that we didn't understand.
The way that the book is portrayed in the way that life is meaningless is it makes it a really, really boring book. You know, since the character's life is meaningless, so is the book. It's kind of like this happens, this happens, this happens. The end.
We really didn't like the relationship between Mirsalt and Marie because in one scene in the book, Marie is like, "Do you love me?" And he's like, "No." And then she asks if she wants to marry her, and he says, "Sure, why not?" And we just thought it was really weird and stupid.
What the author has trouble doing is like giving the readers a relationship with the characters because he doesn't give us something that allows the reader to remember the characters. If you're going to write a book and you want characters to be memorable, you need to have like some sort of personality about them. But with this author, he didn't like tell us really anything about the characters.
The only memorable parts was
Either beating the dog or beating the woman.
yeah.
And that's all we remember.
We all agree the theme of the book is life is meaningless. The main character portrays this by not reacting to any situation that he goes through. His mother dying, him getting sentenced in court, the court case in general. No reaction, you know, it doesn't matter. There's no afterlife. We just die.
Okay, personally, I don't recommend reading this book. It's really boring, and it's only 128 pages long. And so it's like a waste of your time to read it. It's not even that great of a story anyways, so yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
It wasn't a very revolutionary topic or interesting in the least.
I would recommend the book to others. Not because it's an interesting story, or not because the ending is huge and amazing, but because it's so deep if you think about it.
Yeah.
How do we end this?
You're like, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content. Can we say that? Can we just end it with that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.